Paulina Luna joining us now. Good to see you, Congresswoman. I find it fascinating that Joe Biden's saying the MAGA Republicans are trying to undo all the progress that we've made. I'm like, yeah, you know what they are? They're trying to undo the progress of your open borders. They're trying to undo the progress of your massive spending, trying to undo the progress of your massive Green New Deal that's killing the American economy. What say you?
I mean, it's very interesting for him to say the Make America Great Again Republicans are the ones to blame when we've been really sounding the alarms at what's been happening with this administration, their frivolous spending. And also, too, I'd like to remind the viewers that it was Democrats in the Senate and the House that actually largely voted in favor of this recent debt negotiation, and that there were many subsidies for this new Green Deal environmental social justice policy perspective that this administration was pushing. So, you know, as someone who is a freshman in Congress, I hear this, I see the legislation, and then I understand that Joe Biden is hoping that people don't do their own research, because if they did, even just from a legislative perspective, let's take the partisan politics out of it, they would realize that, you know, something that I've known for all too long is that he's lying.
It astounds me that he had the stones to say, imagine turning your back on all those moms and dads living in towns poisoned by pollution when there was a massive train derailment in East Palestine, which he refused to show up for. He can't even hear himself. Biden, meantime, he has no problem going after reporters who ask legitimate questions. Congresswoman, listen to this.
Why did the Ukraine FBI informant file refer to you as the Why is that term continuously applied? Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
Why did you ask such a dumb question?
Why did you ask such a dumb question? Ooh, touchy, isn't he?
Touchy, and very interesting to see how he said it was a bunch of malarkey maybe a week ago and laughed it off, and now he's getting really defensive. That's because we know that Senator Grassley just pointed out that the FBI redacted information stating that there were 17 recorded calls between this Burisma executive and the Biden family, both himself and his son, two of which were when Joe Biden was president. And as we know, the FBI document states that there was $5 million in payments to Joe and to his son, Hunter Biden. But I also want to point out, you know, from what I'm seeing on a House oversight perspective, because I am a member on that committee, did you know that they're sending these left-wing super PACs after Chairman Comer and some of the investigators to put pressure to prevent them from doing the investigations that we're conducting? So to put in perspective, if they really thought it was just a bunch of malarkey, why is it that they are targeting the chairman that's conducting the investigation?
And so speaking of this Biden criminal enterprise, in the first public remarks since President Trump's second criminal indictment, Attorney General Merrick Garland staunchly defending the integrity of the Department of Justice as well as his role in the indictment. Watch this, Congresswoman.
I can't talk about particulars of this or any other ongoing criminal matter. As I said when I appointed Mr. Smith, I did so because it underscores the Justice Department's commitment to both independence and accountability. My role is completely consistent with the regulations that set forth the responsibilities of the Attorney General under the special counsel regulations, and I followed those regulations.
You know, Congresswoman Garland's talking about accountability, and he's in charge of also the FBI, which Christopher Wray runs, and it seems like there's not accountability at all as Republicans try to get these documents in regard to the payments allegedly that were made to the Biden family from Burisma. It seems like they're fully stonewalling your committee and not cooperating with the Congress's legitimate requests for documentation.
No, you're absolutely correct. In fact, we've had to resort to a number of different tactics in order just to get something as simple as a redacted, unclassified document, which doesn't make any sense. And then, as I stated earlier, Senator Grassley was really the whistleblower to us, letting us know that there was actually recorded phone calls. So I just want to point out something. You know, we have this big appropriations fight ahead of us in Congress, and there's a tool that we have, and it's called the Holman Rule. And we can effectively eliminate any federal position and funded position or director, or in this case, an AG, if we see that we have evidence that they are behaving in an unethical fashion and not doing their job or due diligence by the American people. And so I think for people like him, for people like the director of the FBI, That's actually likely going to happen. And that is the one tool and mechanism, because remember, we're not prosecutors and we're not the law enforcement, but we are as the purse, the power of the purse in Washington. And so I believe that my Republican colleagues should join me and join those that are leading the charge on that and ensure that these people are held accountable, because like you said, they're playing games.
And Merrick Garland, if he was serious about equal application of the law, he could expand the jurisdiction of Robert Hur to include the crimes or alleged crimes of the Biden family. He could expand that as he expanded Jack Smith's jurisdiction over January 6th. He could easily do that. There's no need for an additional special counsel, as some Republican senators have called for. Will he do that? Highly unlikely. Breaking tonight, you and your Republican colleagues have agreed to censor Adam Schiff and refer him to the Ethics Committee, which apparently he is very proud of. Listen to this.
It's a badge of honor when you take on the MAGA crowd. They clearly think I'm effective in holding the former president accountable. But it's a terrible misuse of House resources. This is their effort to try to intimidate people that stand up to Donald Trump and to gratify the former president.
Congresswoman.
Adam Schiff seems to think that he has a position of importance. He definitely shows to me that he's a complete narcissist and totally delusional in what he did to the American people. But nonetheless, it's not just MAGA Republicans, as he likes to say. It's the entire Republican conference. We came to terms and negotiations in the language that will censure and refer him to an ethics investigation because of the fact that he knowingly used his position as the chairman of House Intelligence to lie to the American people, to lie to his fellow colleagues, and also to violated the rights, the civil liberties of individuals like Carter Page. So he will be held accountable, and it brings me joy to see that he thinks that, even just yesterday that he got off the hook with it, because he was singing a different tone, and he was very uncomfortable when I saw him in the hallways of Congress to let him know that he would be censured next week.
Yeah, he's saying he's being censured because he's effective. He's being censured because he's an effective liar, and good for you for leading the charge on that, Congresswoman. And thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.